What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be, reviewing and talking about the Bassmaster Elite Series for the rest of the year. They have 3 tournaments left, and we're just going to be talking about it and, giving our advice and, kind of just talking about who's in what positions, Angler of the Year, things like that, and where they're going and what baits they might be using, and just some little things, I know that they're going up north for the rest of the year. I know nothing about up north, but I do watch a lot of the Elite Series. I watch a lot of the MLF and the Major League Fishing Series. I watch a lot about the, pro fishing and where they go and stuff. So kind of neat to see a fan's perspective of, the Elite Series and the other, also like the Major League Fishing, but we're going to be talking about the Elite Series. It's just nice to see a fan's perspective of this, and, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to mainly go over the baits and things like that. But anyways, let's get into it. You won't want to miss this, so enjoy. There's 3 events left. I think there's 9 events in total, so they've been through 6. And as of currently, the Angler of the Year is being led by Kyle Welcher. He's one of my favorite YouTuber Elite Series, anglers. He is awesome. I don't know, something about him. I followed him ever since, before he was ever even fishing professionally. He was just, still playing poker professionally, and he also, started fishing BFLs and stuff like that. I love watching those, love seeing his perspective. He fishes a lot like I do. He's likes to fish fast paced and stuff like that, and he likes to go run around, and he's a shallow water grinder. He loves to fish shallow water. Now I know he's gotten a lot better at fishing deep. I know he practices a lot. He's on the water probably more than anybody else on the Elite Series. That is why he's leading. He has the experience. He practices. He puts the time in. He puts the hard work in that you need to do to be able to be the best. He's currently the best Bassmaster Elite Series angler. So he's leading. I don't think he has much of a lead, only like a 20-point lead or so. And I know number 2 is Brandon Cobb, and number 3 is John Cox. So it's kind of funny. You got 1, 2, and 3, and they're all shallow water grinder fishermen. Brandon Cobb, I don't think he's, thrown anything except a wacky rig this year. Same with John Cox. They love fishing shallow. John Cox is not an electronics person. So going up north is going to be a lot different for them. It's going to be deep water, clear water, smallmouth fishing mostly. Some of the stuff on Lake Champlain that I was seeing and reading about, it's, they've got grass and largemouth there too, so they can also do certain things like that. You'll see John Cox shallow. He probably will not go out there deep. He's probably going to stay shallow. He's probably going to grind for, those 5, 6, 7 bites a day and hope for the best. But anyways, it's going to be fun to see how it shapes out with those 3 at the top. I'm really hoping Kyle Welcher wins. I'd love to see him win, but, Brandon Cobb and John Cox, they're also awesome guys and great fishermen. But anyways, so the next place they're going to Lake St. Clair, and then Lake Champlain, and then the St. Lawrence River. I got my notes right here. So those are going to be the lakes they're going to. Lake St. Clair first, then the Lake Champlain, then St. Lawrence River. 3 giant fisheries. I mean, just tons and tons of water to cover, tons of things to figure out. Mostly smallmouth, but on Lake Champlain there's a lot of largemouth also. So we'll just see what plays out. I don't know anything about these fisheries. I know Lake St. Clair and the St. Lawrence River are going to be straight smallmouth almost. It's going to be one off of smallmouth, I would guarantee. Definitely the St. Lawrence River. I know last year Jay Shakura, a rookie, another awesome guy. I love following along with his YouTube journey and his Elite Series journey. But he broke the 100-pound mark on the smallmouth, so that's going to be really cool to see. It'll probably happen again. I guarantee that it happens again, maybe 1 or 2 different people. He's got a good shot at winning again. He knows that lake very, very well. Lake St. Clair, I'm not sure who won, but I know like Takahiro Omori, or not Taku Itu, the Japanese angler. If I said that right, I'm not sure. I'm just a redneck Tennessee guy who's trying to pronounce a Japanese name. But he does really good. The Johnston brothers do really good. Seth Fighter, a lot of those northern guys, Brandon Polinick, they all do really good up north, so they're going to love this, northern swing. But these are probably going to be some of the baits they got. I just got them actually tied on. I've been, fishing with these around my house actually because they work well. But these are some, I know this bait's all messed up right here, but this right here This is just a little Z-Man Ned rig. This is just a tiny one. This is just the Z-Man TRD. It's got that Elastec, so it's really, really good up north. I mean, it's good around here for the exact reasons it's good up there. You can put one bait on and you can just about fish with it all day and never have to change. With them smallmouth tearing it up, you don't have to spend a lot of time changing baits and stuff. But that works great right there. I think that's just in a Canadian crawl right there is the color of that. It's just, it's almost like a green pumpkin with red and gold and black flake in it. And then, just of course, it's on a tiny little Ned head right there, if y'all can see that. Just very simple, but that's one thing that, a Ned rig, people have started using it and it works everywhere. I mean, it works up north, it works down south, it works in Tennessee, excellent. I live on a highland reservoir here, and it works excellent for us. We catch big smallmouth and big largemouth on schools and in the winter and summer and even springtime. Really, it's just a great all year round bait when you need to get those bites. On our lake, sometimes you're just looking for a keeper, which is 15 inches, and that Ned rig really, really helps that out. That'll be a huge player on all three of those lakes. I know there's tons of different brands of Ned rigs and things, but that's excellent bait, to use. This is just on, this is my Ned rig rod. I just have this on. It's a fairly light rod. It's just 7 foot. Sometimes I'll go to a 6/8. It's just a 7 foot, medium fast action rod with a 2000 size Daiwa. This is a Daiwa Isla and a Daiwa, I think this is a Daiwa BG 2000. We got the 2000. It was just a little bit more comfortable. I actually bought this to go ocean fishing with or surf fishing. Excellent rod. I really, really like these rods. This is a Daiwa Isla. I think that this is like a $300 combo. It's probably my most expensive combo I've ever had. But it works great for this, and it works great for Ned rigs. I also like to throw, hair jigs and stuff on it too, because I don't actually have a dedicated hair jig rod because I don't throw them very much. But this is the other thing right here. This is a very, very key bait. All these baits are tore up, so just because they look funny like this is not the way they're normally rigged. This right here, everybody knows what this is. You got your weight at the bottom, and then you got your hook here. This is actually supposed to be threaded on here. We were actually fishing a tournament this weekend, and my dad was using this, and he caught a giant smallmouth. It was actually, well, we call it giant. They're supposed to be 18 inches to keep, and this one was like 17 and a half, but it was still like a 2 pound, 2 3/4 pound smallmouth. But that right there, as y'all can see, that is just the 6-inch robo worm with just a little. This is actually a 1/0 flipping hook. If y'all can see that, it's got the flipping hook type keeper on it, and it's just a 1/0 flipping hook. I actually, thread that on there just like that with the 6-inch robo worm, and then, about 12 inches of leader to my weight, just a little 1/4 ounce weight. And this is on a 7-1 Ducket Pro Series rod with a 2500 size Shimano neck save from Walmart, actually. So that's an excellent rod. 10-pound braid to I think this is 10 or 8 pound fluorocarbon. I go in between 10 and 8 on my drop shot. I know the guys up north in the Bassmaster Elite Series, you'll see some of them go 4 and even 6 pound. I can't believe they do that. I mean, I would break off literally every single fish if I did that. But that's some of the baits that you'll see. I'll pop up some of the baits that, that have won past tournaments here. And some of these lakes, like Lake Champlain, I've been seeing. I was researching this a little bit before I hopped on this video. But like Lake Champlain, it's got tons of grass and things. So you might see some guys fishing some top water. I think I saw some guys in previous years throwing poppers, top waters, frogs, flipping, things like that, throwing jigs. And that actually brings me to my third bait that I got, that I think will play in these 3 tournaments up north. Is just a jig. This is on I have this on a 7/6. This is on a 7/6 heavy with a, just a dial, or not a dial, but this is on a Shimano SLX, just a 150 XG left-handed. I like the left-handed because I'm just flipping and I don't have to, change hands when I'm flipping. But this is just a 1/2 ounce Strike King jig with a net bait pack a chunk on the back. I love this jig a lot right here. It's got a great weed guard. I think this is like the Pro Series flipping jig, in a green pumpkin. But you'll see guys that use that a lot, I think. Seth Fighter, he loves throwing jigs and things, so I think you'll see him do a lot of that. There's some other baits, his hair jigs and stuff, but I'll have these rolling on the screen so y'all can see these while I'm talking about these baits here. But we'll just look at that. I mean, I don't know. There's going to be, you'll see all these different types of baits. There's no telling what'll play. Each year they want something different, it seems like. A drop shot and a neighbor rig will always play because you'll always have guys offshore going to the lake or going into Canada to fish. But it's really neat to see, how you see some guys make the top 10, they'll be flipping grass, and then some guys, they're out there making the top 10 throwing a drop shot on 4-pound line. So it's just the difference between personalities of the types of anglers that fish. But anyways, we'll look at a map here of we'll look at the first lake here. So if y'all follow along with me on the map, I'll have this popped up on here. I'm just on the Humminbird app on my iPad, but you can see this right here. This is Lake St. Clair right here. Huge lake, huge body of water, and you can run all the way into the Detroit River, all the way out here into Lake Erie, I believe. I'm pretty sure they're allowed to do that. I'm not exactly sure, and I think that you could probably run to Lake Huron too, but I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But Lake St. Clair, it's a huge body of water, got rivers on both sides, but that is a far run. If you can see that from the Grosse Pointe Park all the way over here to Rockwood, South Rockwood, and to Estrall Beach. That's a very, very far run, and you can see in the lake out here on Lake Erie, you can see where these guys are probably going to be fishing a lot. There's tons of isolated islands out here. Great for smallmouth. Some they'll be drifting along, just looking for schools of smallmouth. It happens at our lake. You'll just find schools of smallmouth in Tennessee, and you'll just be drifting along, and then they'll be out there in the middle of 50 foot of water just eating bait. And you can throw demicky rigs and certain things like that. In my previous video, I was talking about a demicky rig and how big it's been this year in the Pro Series, of tournaments and things. But a demicky rig might play a lot in these big tournaments, out on these big lakes chasing these smallmouth this year. But as you can see, that's Lake St. Clair, so they'll be following along here. I'm definitely going to be watching. This will be an awesome one to keep up with, but to see the guys go out into the lake, weather is a big factor up north, when they go to these lakes, because, weather can make the lake, 4 and 5, 6 footers of waves, so you can't drive the boat out there. Some people, they'll risk it. They'll go out there and they'll still catch them. Doesn't seem like it affects the fishing much, but the weather does affect how you travel, how far you can go, and how far it takes you to get there and get back. They have 8 hours to fish, so if it takes them 3 hours to get there, they have to get 3 hours back. You're only fishing for a couple of hours that day. So that's something to take into account, with that. But moving on to the next lake, you got Lake Champlain over here. If y'all can see that, I'll pop this back up on the screen. This is Lake Champlain in Plattsburgh, I think is where they're taken out of, in New York. So you got this. I'm zooming it in here slowly. So this is also another giant lake, Lake Champlain. You've got tons and tons of water here that it pops up. You can see all the, the contour lines and stuff on the Humminbird Lake Master map. This is on my iPad. You'll definitely need to check this out. You can just download the app and pay the money, and it's called Humminbird One Boat Network, but you can check that out. But anyways, follow along here. You can see all the, channels and channel swings and islands and things through this lake. Tons of different area. It's got, 300 foot of water all the way to the bank to, 50, 60 foot of water. You can go back into the rivers and you can get in, shallow 3, 4, 5 foot of water. But it's just got tons and tons of area to cover. I wouldn't even know where to begin if I start on this bodies of water like this. But these professional fishermen, they're the best for a reason, and they can figure it out. But anyways, moving on to the last one. So as y'all can see here on the last one, this is the St. Lawrence River here, and it's got tons of places to go. I think they're taking out of Waddington. I'm not exactly sure. I think that has been changed, but there's tons of places on the St. Lawrence River, and guys are going to be making this run all the way. If you can follow along here, they're going to be making the run all the way out here to the big lake, which is Lake Ontario into Canada and stuff. They can actually fish Canada this year, I think, because of COVID. The restrictions are off. I think they might have been off last year, but I'm not sure. But you can run into the lake. You can see just tons and tons of water, just hundreds of thousands of acres out here to fish. So it'll just be unbelievable to see them how they break down huge bodies of water like this. You know, the biggest body of water I fished is about 30,000 acres, but in a tournament at least. I fished Gunnersville, which you know is approaching 100, I think. But with this being said, they're fishing, you know, they've got 300,000 of acres of water to break down with. I've only ever had 30,000 acres of water to break down, and it seemed like a huge amount of water for me to break down in 2 days of practice, where they have 3 days, but they have 5 times as much water to break down. So it'll be really cool to see how they do. I'm definitely going to stick along. Y'all can follow along at bassmaster.com/live. I think /live. It's going to be an awesome tournament to follow. I wish all Elite Series anglers the best of luck. I'm definitely going to be following along on all 3 tournaments. I know ICAST is coming up, so I'm excited to see what new baits are coming out. But anyways, if y'all leave a like and subscribe, I hope y'all enjoyed these short types of videos. It's so hot in Tennessee recently that it's just been boring to fish. I go out there, I catch 1 or 2 fish, but it's just been not very fun. I'm going to try to get out some this week to show y'all some fish catches. I'm going to try to go offshore fish a little bit or go throw a frog shallow. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, chase your dreams.